Hello everyone, this is R.S. Miller at the endtimenews.org and today is November 21st, 2013. This is your Fast Track Report. Iran stands fast on Arak heavy water reactor for plutonium-fired nuclear weapons. The Iranian negotiators faced the delegations of 6 world powers in Geneva on Thursday, November 21st, with strict orders not to give ground on the 2 major sticking points holding up a first-step deal on their nuclear program. The heavy water reactor under construction at Arak for producing plutonium and Iran's right to uranium enrichment. If Iran gains those 2 points, whatever concessions its negotiators may come up with are worthless, because they will leave Tehran in possession of 2 optional nuclear weaponizing tracks instead of 1, plutonium as well as uranium enrichment. Devkafal reports that Tehran is fighting tooth and nail for 6-power acknowledgement of its right to enrich uranium, ostensibly to come away from Geneva with a historic feat, to show the Iranian people that the economic hardship they suffered under economic sanctions was worth the candle. But the concessions of this right has a more sinister purpose. It would give Iran's nuclear aspirations the enormous boost of an international license to keep its uranium enrichment facilities, including the underground plant at Fordo and the centrifuge production line, fully intact and ready to go at any time. The infrastructure already standing, say U.S. intelligence sources, is capable of topping up enriched uranium stockpiles already in hand to the amount needed for 5 nuclear bombs in less than a month. 26 days is the number often cited. The second option of plutonium would also be available when the Arak reactor is finished. Netanyahu had previously stated, "We cannot accept anything less than the total cessation of all enrichment of nuclear materials at all levels, removal from Iran of all enriched nuclear material, closure of Iran's illicit nuclear facilities," he said during a meeting with Canadian Foreign Minister John Bayard. Until Iran meets these demands, pressure must be stepped up and Iranian nuclear program must be stopped, period. In a series of tweets by the Prime Minister's office, he said, "The real Iran is not one that disseminates false propaganda videos with classical music in the background. The real Iran is led by a leader who once again attacked the United States and was responded to with chants of death to America." Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, while at a rally in Iran on Wednesday, called Israel an illegitimate regime led by untouchable rabid dogs. After failing to convince Washington that global powers are pursuing a bad deal, Netanyahu flew to Moscow to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin as envoys from Russia and the United States, China, France, Britain, and Germany met Iranian negotiators in Geneva. After meeting with Putin, Netanyahu suggested Israel would be satisfied only if Iran ended all its nuclear work and cited a deal reached on the destruction of all serious chemical weapons as a model to follow. Netanyahu says the deal now under negotiation, the exact details of which have not been disclosed, would still enable Tehran to build an atomic bomb quickly if it chose to do so. The Prime Minister has made what some are calling veiled threats of military action against Iran if negotiators sign what he has called an exceedingly bad deal in Geneva. Yesterday, the Times of Israel reported that Netanyahu left Moscow empty-handed. He also talked to Germany about maintaining economic sanctions imposed on Iran to force it to open up its nuclear program to inspections and to stop the ongoing construction at the plutonium reactor in Arak, Iran, that could be used for bomb making. And if they refuse to do so, increase the sanctions, he told German newspaper Bild on Tuesday. Because the options are not a bad deal or war, there is a third option. Keep the pressure up, in fact, increase the pressure. However, the Obama administration is seeking to lift some sanctions against Iran, hoping the move will foster an atmosphere of negotiations, and opposes adding any new sanctions during this time, thereby making Netanyahu's third option a moot point. The only viable and final solution option that's left, short of some unforeseen development, may be war. Friends, we are living in the last days, and Jesus Christ is returning sooner than most think. I personally am convinced that the false prophet is already here, and if this is correct, then the Antichrist is also here as well. Although he has yet to be revealed, he is alive and well and working feverishly towards his satanic goals, which are to kill, steal, and destroy as much of God's creation as he can. At some point not too far from now, the Antichrist will make a covenant with many nations and peoples. The world will rejoice, believing that they have finally obtained peace in their lifetime. But this is a false peace, and 3.5 years into the treaty, the Battle of Armageddon breaks out, and it will be unlike any war which has ever gone before. Zechariah tells us a little bit about why this war will take place. The burden of the word of the Lord against Israel. Thus says the Lord, who stretches out the heavens, lays the foundation of the earth, and forms the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of drunkenness to all the surrounding peoples, when they lay siege against Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall be in that day that I will make Jerusalem a very heavy stone for all peoples. All who would heave it away will surely be cut to pieces, though all nations of the earth are gathered against it. He also tells us the kind of death the armies which fight against Jerusalem will receive during this war. And this shall be the plague with which the Lord will strike all the people who fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall dissolve while they stand on their feet. Their eyes shall dissolve in their sockets, and their tongues shall dissolve in their mouths. In Zechariah's day, such a plague didn't exist. There were no known diseases, weapons, or anything else which could have caused the flesh to dissolve off the bones before they collapsed and fell onto the ground. But today, a nuclear explosion at or near ground zero will do just that to the human body. Are you saved? Follow the link in the box below and pray the prayer of salvation with a sincere heart, and you will be saved. Now is the time of salvation, for tomorrow has not been promised to you. May God bless you.